Hey everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and in today's video I'm taking a look at this camera stabilizer from a company called Hohem. It's H-O-H-E-M, and this is the iSteady MT2 kit. Obviously camera stabilizer. It's a 4-in-1 camera stabilizer. It has a fill light here and an AI vision sensor. So what that means is it should be able to do some things like tracking of you or tracking the camera subject. If you set this up and you want it to kind of follow you around, if you're doing content creation and that sort of thing, it has some built-in logic in the actual gimbal itself that you don't have to use a tied app or a Bluetooth on your phone or anything like that. So there's some cool features here. What we're going to do in this video, obviously, like everything, is unbox this. But we'll take a look at this and then see kind of how it all works and if it's good or not, right? So in the box, you do get the iSteady, obviously. You get the fill light sensor. There's a tripod. There's an Arca-Swiss L bracket, camera release plate. There's a mobile phone quick release as well. An adapter for the action camera, some thumb screws, some cables, storage box, and user manual. So I'll go ahead and just start opening this up, and we'll see what we got here. So I do like that it comes in this nice case, and this is a nice kind of textured feeling. It looks like waterproof or water resistant case because it's got that kind of coating on it. It's got a handle on the top, which is pretty cool. And then the case itself is obviously a storage case. But what's neat is there's pockets for all the different pieces. There's a zipper pocket over here as well for your different components and things like that. Very convenient if you're going to be traveling with this or just kind of taking it from location to location and whatnot. So right off the bat, I like that. I'm just going to pull out all these pieces and then we'll take a look at what's in here. And there's Velcro to hold the pieces in and all of that. So very useful case. So as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, so there is a tripod stand for this. So it's kind of lightweight, but fairly sturdy. Kind of some sort of polycarbonate plastic or whatnot. Stand, it's really cool. It has some rubber little feet in the corners. Obviously, a way to connect it to the bottom of the gimbal. These are the couple different mounting plates. This is the Arca-Swiss plate. You get an L bracket here, adjustable, obviously for different types of cameras, and so you can move the center balance around. So you get that. This is the phone mount, right? So it's an adjustable phone mount, also kind of with that base so that it clamps in there. This also has the base, right? So the Arca-Swiss kind of style base that clamps onto the top piece. So you got that. This is the adapter for the action camera and a 1/4-inch thumb screw, a couple of 1/4-inch thumb screws in here. So this will be kind of your standard action camera mount, right? So action camera mount, obviously very similar to what you would think. I have a quick start guide, bunch of pictures in there. So then you get a bunch of connectors and cables. So within here, there's a Type-C stabilizer charging cable, so the cable to charge the gimbal. And then you get a Type-C micro USB, mini USB, TRS, a couple different sizes for connecting, etc. So you get a bunch of cables for pretty much everything that you could use on this thing. So this is the AI camera and the LED. I believe this is also RGB, so it can put off not just white light. There's a little switch on top that says AI on and off. So we'll have to do some testing or at least understand how this works. But it magnetically attaches to the gimbal and then the contacts there power it. So that's kind of neat. It's removable, doesn't have to be on there. And then here's the gimbal itself. So pretty compact, actually. You've got a multifunction jog dial here for doing focus or changing the roll, various buttons for different functionality. You got your little multi-way dial, another little switch here. It's got an LCD built in, power button, charging port, and yeah, I mean basically a gimbal. So you got your tripod mount on the bottom. There's a little hole here for a lanyard. So overall, pretty cool. Now the thing is, this thing is pretty light. This only weighs, and I don't know what they're counting. I'm assuming they're counting this plus one of the adapters, but they're saying the stabilizer only weighs like 1.44 pounds. The gimbal load capacity is up to 2.64 pounds. So that should handle kind of a wide variety of items, obviously. Most mirrorless cameras with built-in lenses will be okay. Action cameras, phones, and all of that. One of the cameras I'm going to use and test out on this is the Canon G7X, which is a common creator camera. Either this or newer versions of the Canon cameras or whatever, Sony, all that stuff, right? There's everybody makes a camera kind of like this. Also, it should support, some of the other mirrorless cameras, like I'm using a Canon M50. With a lighter lens, you should be able to get things in kind of under that 2.64 pound load capacity. This should handle camera dimensions around 5.27 inches wide and 3.96 inches in height, and up to 6.9 inches. It's almost 7 inches in depth, right? So if you have a camera with a lens attached, you'll get a little bit more depth and be able to correct for that in the gimbal setup to balance it, right? And like I said, this does have the AI tracker that can follow movements. It has built-in gesture control, so there is no app or Bluetooth required, so there's some gestures you can do. That sensor is also magnetic. And there's fill light modes of cold and warm, and then RGB ambient lighting, like I mentioned. It is what they're calling their Multi 4.0 quick installation system, which, like I said, features the Arca standard quick release bases and things like that. This has iSteady 7.0 anti-shake algorithm. So according to Hohem, they're saying that's a 30% increase in stability over previous versions. More stability is always good when you're looking at these things. Up to 17 hours of battery life. It has reverse charging for phones. So if you have a phone, you want to charge it and act as a power bank, you can do that as well. This also flips to vertical mode, right? So which is actually kind of interesting for a lot of people that want to create that vertical content, either for TikTok or shorts and things like that. It does have the ability to do a vertical mode flip. And so you can do vertical shooting, which is nice. And it also has the party trick of like the Inception mode, infinite spin shots. So as you're kind of moving, you're twisting the whole frame around and around and around. So hopefully we can test that out and see what that looks like. But overall, this does seem to have quite a lot of features. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and put this on and balance it. I'm not going to do the video because I don't know how long this is going to take me. And then I'll talk about it, show you with it turned on, and how it will handle a camera like this, and then we'll go kind of from there. Now, the cables that this came with, if you have a supported camera, the way that it works is you plug the USB-C end to the camera control here, and then you can plug this into your camera, and then you can control things like, starting and stopping recording, or using the side focus wheel, that sort of thing, I believe. So I'm not going to be able to control this camera with the gimbal, but I mean, it doesn't really make a difference because if you use autofocus on here with the touch screen, and then you can manually hit the record button, that's fine, I guess. But if you do have a camera that's compatible, then you do get a little bit more ability to do the control. So that's just something to know. Like, I'm not going to be able to test that. So I basically do have this balanced. I went through the 3 axes. I followed the directions on how to do that. And then when you go ahead and turn on the gimbal, then it works, right? So let me, it's kind of hard to tell here, but as you can see, right, like I'm moving this around. Now, I guess it depends on the mode, right? So there's a couple different modes, like a pan follow mode, a pan tilt follow mode. You can lock it. There's a POV mode. There's that inception mode thing, etc. So those are all controlled just with the little mode button here. As you can see here, if you press the mode button, it does change. It does change modes, and then there's some other things depending, like if you can control, if they had the camera control, right, you can do things like start recording and all of that. But just using the basic gimbal functions, I can use this to move the gimbal around, kind of like, go up, go down, turn sideways, all that with this button. The side button in this case doesn't do anything, again, because I mentioned. But overall, it does act like a normal gimbal, right? So turning this on, you'll see the red light turn on, and then it will flash twice. So that means it's active and on. And then basically, see if I'm going to stand back just a little bit from here. So as you can see from the top down, the tracker's here. Now what I should be able to do is just kind of back up a little bit and do a hand gesture. And what the hand gesture is going to be is like making the OK sign with my hand. And that should turn the AI tracker on. And then it should start tracking me, right? So this is not the camera tracking me. This would be the gimbal moving based on that, right? So I think I should be able to be in thing here. So I'll do OK. All right, so now, so the light did turn green, and now it's tracking me, right? So if I move, like the gimbal itself is moving to follow me, so it's looking to keep me in the frame. So now I'm out of the frame, back in the frame. Now, the one thing here is it is cutting my head off a little bit, but that's probably because I can't really zoom out anymore on the camera, so I'm a little bit close. So I think I'd have to be a little bit farther away for it to... I don't know if there's an adjustment to kind of keep it up just a tiny bit more, but it's putting me in there and it's kind of cutting off my head. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I zoomed out anymore, but see, even here, I'm trying to keep myself in the frame and it's tilting down a little bit. So anyways, that's how it works, right? You do the gesture, it turns on, and then it starts doing the manipulation of the gimbal to track you. Now, what I should be able to do is just do this. Okay, now that stopped it. So now it turned back red. As you can see right here, now it's red again. So that's how the AI tracking works. I mean, it seems to work, right? Yeah, so that is how the AI tracking piece works there. Overall, this is pretty sturdy. Feels pretty nice with the camera. I can pretty much move it around. All of that. Now you can mount, like I said, a phone or something like that, and then basically this just replaces the camera L bracket on this main bracket, or the action camera lens as well. Now, if you want to turn this into a vertical mode, you will have to basically take this off, right? So you take this piece off and then you just put it in vertically, right? So you just basically slide it back in like that. So then you have the L bracket going the other way. You might have to rebalance a little bit if you do switch it, but that's how you would get the vertical mode, right? And then you just kind of slip this out and you can put it back in the horizontal mode like that, and then lock it with this little tab. Now, additionally, there is an app for your phone. It's the Hohem app, and it basically will connect to your iSteady. And if you have a camera that supports it and it's connected to it, you can enter and use a live view mode so you can see what the view is. Otherwise, you can just go into remote control, and then you can use the phone to do the controlling, right? and you can change all the modes, you can change all the settings, you can do all of that. Now for me, this is the only thing I really can do is use it as a remote control, because this camera does not have an interface with it. You can change the motion control. You can do a time lapse, right? Set the beginning and end points of the time lapse position wise, and then it will kind of traverse that over the time. And if you have like a timer on your camera or whatnot, it can do all of that. So lots of cool features built into this that you can use with the app. But from this standpoint, I think that's all I'm going to do on this video. Now, with any gimbal, there's lots of features, there's lots of controls, there's lots of settings you can change on the sensitivity of things, how fast it follows when you move it, all those sorts of things. So there's a lot of information there that you'll have to kind of play around with and use to really understand the features and how it works. But overall, it's a pretty solid device. Now, what I will do probably is take this out and just use this camera and just do some video recording. The weather's not too great in Chicago now. It's really dreary. There's no leaves on the trees. So I don't know. I'll have to find something interesting to go take some video of. But I will do that, and then I'll throw that on the end of this just so you can see how smooth it is and whatnot with this camera. I'm going to use the G7X camera since I've got it all set up, and then just use that to record some video. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but show some video right after this. If you have any questions, go ahead and post those below. I'll be happy to answer. I will link to this in the description. This is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby,